All right, first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and great glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and salutations to the elect pushing this truth to the four corners of the earth in truth and in sincerity. All right, in this particular video, we're going to be touching on pestilence, in particular, bird flu. Now, this is just going to be a quick update. Some new things came out about the bird flu, and we just want to touch on them a little bit. Now, they said that bird flu had the potential to be the next pandemic. That's number one, right? They said it had the potential to be the next pandemic. Pan meaning all, endemic meaning just the population of people. So pandemic, when you hear that, that means all people, the whole earth. So they saying that this has the potential to be a pandemic. Now they're saying that bird flu is global now. So that's a reality. You see? So let's connect the dots even further. That was 2. 3 is there's a new strand of bird flu. It's a second strand of bird flu, and they're concerned about this second strand because it's related to a bird flu strand that killed people in the past. So in the second strand, they're not doing much research on it. They're saying it's just out there. They're not really trying to hunt it down and try to figure out too much about it. And you have a doctor that's on this news, on CBS News, that he's going to express his concerns over that. All right? How, it's unwise to let it just be out there in the wild with wild animals because they're saying that the bird flu was mutated, right? And it's finding ways to last longer in humans. So this is what they're saying, right? Let's connect the dots even further. Most, or 70%, so most of the infections that humans get, they come from wild animals. You see? So this is the doctor's concern, because if most of the infectious diseases and viruses that we get is from wild animals, then why would you let this bird flu just go unchecked? So his concern that it can spiral out of control, and then really he's insinuating that it can now be transmissible from human to human. You see? It can mutate, and now humans can get it and pass it to other humans. Now, what's so bad about that is the death rate of bird flu in humans is 60%. So you have a 60% chance of dying if you contract the bird flu. Now, the second strand, it can come back more deadlier, so forth and so on. There's headlines out there, a video out there that says bird flu should have killed 1 billion people. So this is why you have them having concerns over it, man. All right, so let's connect the dots. Now, like Crown Vic Royale, I'm going even further. Now, with Crown Vic Royale, they said that the animals, the cats, can get it. Well, it's the same thing with this bird flu right here. It's not just for birds. Like, you might think it's just chickens can get it on surface when you hear a bird flu. But really, dogs can get it, horses, seals, pigs, minks, other aquatic life. Like I heard a dolphin had got it. You see that? And now they're saying that cats are getting it. And when you can look this up, do some research yourself, they're really focusing on cats. Now, the reason I want to bring this point up is because they did the same thing with Crown Vic Royale. They were focusing on the cats, right? Why were they focusing on the cats? Because a cat is the in-between between a wild animal and a domestic animal, right? It's not like a dog or anything like that, because you can go outside in the woods and you can see a pack of stray cats. There's no stray dogs or anything out here like that. They're stray cats, but they're also domestic cats too. All right? You got indoor, outdoor cats. You let your cat outside and come back pregnant. That type of thing. So now they're focusing on the cat, saying they can get it. And then they don't know if the cat can give it to the human, or if the human that gets it can give it to the cat. Now, why are they doing that? Because it's the perfect animal, so they can say, they can put parameters for you in the household, like they tried to do with Crown Vic Royale, if you following me. With Crown Vic Royale, they said Well, the pandemic was getting so bad that more than 5 people can't be in a household. Now, they didn't really get to push that to the extent that they wanted it to, but they was trying to push it, and they used the cat for that. They said the cat can get Crown Vic Royale. So we seen them doing one of the same old 1-2 steps with this with the cat with this bird flu, man. So you see that? So just, watch out for that, man. Watch out for the bird flu, man. And pestilence, Shalakia. And pestilence is spoken of in the scriptures. A famous precept, Matthew 24:7. Let's get it. It's not going to be too long. Matthew 24:7. And we read, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places." You see, and pestilences, and we're seeing that right now. It's just not Crown Vic Royale that hit the scene. We're hearing the bird flu now. We heard about monkeypox. We heard about Ebola. As a matter of fact, this is a still that I took from, I believe this is YouTube or TikTok, one of them websites. But as you see, it says suspected Ebola exposure at NYC, urgent care as hazmat crew on scene. Bird flu, Ebola. I'm talking about airborne Ebola too. You see? EEE, which is Eastern Equine Encephalitis, which mosquitoes pass that around. West Nile. So forth and so on. It's to talk about a bunch of stuff, man. And there's going to be some more coming down the pipeline. So the scriptures talk about pestilence. When it says pestilences, yeah. And the Lord's going to use pestilence to wipe a lot of people out. As a matter of fact, let's get Ezekiel 7:15. This is Ezekiel 7:15. And we read, it says, "The sword is without, and the pestilence, and the famine within. He that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him." You see that? You see that? It's like, yeah, I'm on a plantation. You got people. Just got to keep my head on a swivel. That's it. Right. So if you in the field, you out there in the rural area or something like that, when all hell breaks loose, you going to get devoured by the sword. You in the city, famine and pestilence is going to devour you. Pestilence, man. You see? And the famine going to get so bad that people are going to gang up and start to spoil houses, man. Movie The Road shows you that. But yeah, you see, pestilence. But they that escape of them shall escape, and shall be on the mountains like doves of the valley, all of them mourning, every one for his iniquity. That's right. Everybody gonna be thinking about the evil shit that they have done. Watch, when all hell breaks loose, people gonna be start to think about all the shit that they did. All hands shall be feeble, and all knees shall be weak as water. They shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror shall cover them, and shame shall be upon all faces, and baldness upon their heads. All right, I got the point though. All right, so hey, the Lord's going to use pestilence to judge a lot of people, man. So keep an eye on this bird flu. All right, so let's play this video, and then we're going to exit it. All right, I'm about to hop on this road real quick. So bear with me.
Welcome back to America Decides. Thanks so much for staying with us. Bird flu, as it is called, is spreading through thousands of animals and has reached some humans. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has tracked 70 cases thus far and 1 death in the United States. Around 700 people have been laid off from the CDC in recent weeks due to cuts from the Trump administration. And some public health experts are expressing concern that those job reductions...
Oh, yeah, and that's another thing, too, I wanted to point out. Salakia. And if this thing really does spiral out of control and they call it a pandemic, what do you think those 2 men in the office is going to do? They're going to push the that thing on you. As a matter of fact, hold on. Right here, this is another still I took where Elon Musk, which is nothing but they puppet, all right? People think he's different. No, he's controlled by the elites, man. It's showing you that he agrees with carbon tax, universal basic income. You see that next one, transhumanism, one world government. He agrees with all of that. Let's look at this third one. You see what WEF says, and you see what he says? He says, to be clear, I do support snake venom in general, not just this one or that one. He like all of them. And Crown Vic Royale, specifically. So he said he like all of them, but this one specifically he like. The science is unequivocal. So what do you think this guy is going to do? You think he's going to say, nah, you ain't got to take it? If this thing spirals out of control, you see it has a fatality rate of 60%. Like if you get it, you have a 60% chance of dying. You think them 2 men in the office is going to say anything about it? Like you ain't got to take it? Don't forget, Trump was the face and the one who pushed Operation Warp. And he was promoting that. Don't forget, Trump talks about a biometric tracking system that he wants in land, sea, and air. Trump also talks about the death penalty for anti-Semitism. You see that? These 2 men in the office right now were just nothing but puppets, man. Who was that president? He said presidents are not elected, they're selected. There's nothing but a big plan. You got the dude in the White House right now, Elon Musk, the face of the MOTB, man. You see what he says right here, transhumanism. Let's read it real quick. He says, creating a neural lace, which he has right now, is the thing that really matters for humanity to, it's like I'm driving, to achieve symbiosis with machines. You see? This guy, he's in the White House right now, moving furniture around. He just cut the penny. No more penny production, and they blaming it on inflation. Well, newsflash. Economists are already letting you know that the economy is not going to get better, no matter who you got in office. So he's in office right now, setting up or doing the transition, helping the transition from this old world system to the new beast system, man. All right, so let's hop back in the video. Let's play it real quick.
And that those job reductions might make us less prepared for the next pandemic. Science writer David Quammen joins us now. He is the author of the book Breathless, The Scientific Race to Defeat a Deadly Virus. Importantly, in 2012, he also is the author of a book entitled Spillover, Animal Infections and the Next Human Pandemic. So, David, you are deeply experienced in this area of research and writing. What is our current risk factor associated with bird flu and our ability at the federal level to properly measure it, explain it, and combat it?
Well, our current risk level, according to the CDC website that I looked at today, is low. The issue is how easy is it for that risk level to move from low to high in a minute, in a day, in 2 days. The cuts that we've all been hearing about to the CDC, to the National Institutes of Allergy and Infectious Disease, to the NIH, what concerns me about those cuts is the timing, the scale, and the focus of those cuts. As you mentioned, we are living in a rain of bird flu coming down out of the skies from wild birds onto poultry farms in the U.S., onto dairy farms in the U.S. now, as well as a lot of other outbreaks around the world. It's a really bad time for us to be reducing our capacity for scientific research, vaccine development, and public health measures.
And David, in that regard, I've read and talked to experts about bird flu who say one of the problems right now is we are not aggressively enough testing in various states to understand exactly how widespread this problem may be. We don't even know what we don't know yet, and because we don't know, we haven't made any decisions about ramping up.
Same thing they said with Crown Vic Royale. Oh, we don't know. We don't know. They never give you a definitive answer because they want to be, how would you say, fluid in a situation. They want to be able to say, oh, things is happening this way. Well, we can do damage control this way. And the way that they can do that is by never giving you a real definitive answer. By constantly saying, we don't know. Well, this is the science right now or whatever. So it's the same thing that they did. It's the same playbook. I'm not saying that this is going to be the next pandemic, but this is something to keep your eyes on, right?
Vaccines to be prepared. Do those things concern you as well?
Absolutely. Those are high concerns for me. How much are we testing poultry workers who are exposed to bird flu when they work with hundreds and thousands of birds? How much are we testing dairy workers who are...
See? Now, what if they start doing that? Testing poultry workers and dairy workers, man? You see? What if this spirals out of control and they start testing them? Now you don't have people, because they're testing positive, so now they can't come back to work. Now we don't have people working on farms and these certain plants. You see? What if now it spirals out of control even further, and then now instead of euthanizing millions of chicken, they start euthanizing, and euthanizing something is just a fancy word to say kill something. So they start euthanizing not just millions of chickens, but cow. What else? Pig. You know, because motherfuckers eat pork and shit around here. You know, and other animals, because it's not just the range of bird flu is just not focused on the bird. It's a wide range of animals that can be infected. But you see the potential of this bird flu. That's why it's good to have your eye on it. Now I know that this isn't the hot topic, you know, right now, you know, pestilence or whatever. But all the prophecies is really a hot topic, and this is going to come to pass, man. As far as pestilence, you know, reaching a point that people ain't never seen. All right.
Exposed to bird flu in all of the more than 900 dairy herds in the U.S. that have bird flu circulating in the cows. How much are we testing milk? How much are we testing the cows themselves? All of this should be very intensively tested, and it is not being done. There has just been a second strain of bird flu found in cows just in recent weeks, independently spilled over from wild birds into cows, and we know almost nothing about where it is and what it's doing.
And David, remind the audience of the risk factor of viruses that move through animals and then mutate into humans, and the potential difficulty of treating humans so infected.
Well, Major, this is where most of our infectious diseases come from. 70% of our infectious disease in the strict recent sense come from other animals, come from mostly wild animals. Those diseases, in particular viruses, spill over into humans. There's a whole drumbeat of these events that have happened in the last few decades. I wrote about them in the books that you mentioned. You know, Ebola.
So this is why this is on CBS News right here, man. This doctor is saying that there's a second strand that they don't know really what's going on with it. And that 70% of the infectious diseases that we get as humans, it comes from wild animals. It's spilling over from out of the wild animals into the human population. You see? Keep your eye on this, man.
Virus, Marburg virus, SARS-1 in 2003, Nipah virus in 1998, Hendra virus in 1994, and others. Marburg virus, coming out of wild animals, getting into humans, novel viruses that haven't been seen in humans before, for which we need to respond. One way we respond is by developing vaccines as quickly as possible, and that's what saved millions of lives in the COVID-19 pandemic. We developed vaccines against COVID-19 at a record pace, and it was one of the few things that was done really, really well during the COVID pandemic.
And David, we have about a minute left. When COVID struck, there was a consensus. Oh my gosh, we were flat-footed. We're never going to be this flat-footed again. If I'm hearing you correctly, with bird flu, our feet are flat.
Our feet are flatter than ever. I'm really concerned. I think we are less prepared for a pandemic now than we were in January of 2020. The one thing that's improved is our vaccine research and development, the mRNA vaccine technology that was brought online by U.S. scientists and U.S. public health people and private sector U.S. pharmaceutical people so quickly. We have that, but otherwise we are blinding ourselves to the disease threats that we are facing now.
David Quammen, thank you very much for your...
Well, I hope that was edifying. Hope you can take something from that. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.